Avenue F, dude.
Yeah.
So, we've been neighbors a lot.
Yeah, we've been in the neighborhoods. But we moved into this like more like pristine neighborhood.
Yeah, it was clean.
It was weird to live in a place where people valued
sidewalks.
No, we don't even have sidewalks because they don't want people walking there. I noticed
the absence of sidewalks.
They don't want people walking around.
It's not safe to walk around anyway. Who the fuck's walking around at night?
No, but like they value like physical characteristics of the home.
Right.
Like if you're going to change anything on the outside of the facade of your home, you have to ask for permission. We had to get a new roof, and my parents, they're like kind of extra. I wonder where I get it from. No, but they wanted a blue terracotta roof, and they had to get it approved from the HOA.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, but it looks really nice because it matches, like the arches are red brick, and then there's like green.
Have I seen the roof?
It's like if you don't pay attention, you don't notice it because it's like a kind of like a navy blue almost.
Okay.
So it kind of blends in, but if you look at it, like if you are paying attention, you see it, and it's really nice. So they but they had to ask for permission. Like my stepdad had to mow the lawn like weekly, front and back, and then like
That's really bad for the grass.
I don't know.
And then you have to water it and maintain it. I'm
exactly.
Sure.
He had to figure out the sprinkler system. It's like a whole thing, and so like that's kind of like classism, though. Like when you're like. What if my fucking, like, I can't afford a lawnmower? What if, like, this is the only roof I can afford? Like, what if, like, so that was something that I was, like, I had to get accustomed to, like,
and that's what it felt like a little bit. The more I learned about actually being in a homeowners association, it made me think, this is trying to price people out, I think. Like, if you can't afford these fees, you can't live here.
It also stifles individualism and self-expression in your home.
Exactly.
Which
and so
I hate.
Right. And I mean, I didn't have an option because this actually was one of the cheapest places on the market that wasn't in the worst position with water damage. But, like, it just feels weird. And then we didn't understand the concept of cul-de-sacs. So when I went on a walk, we got lost for an hour because we didn't know how to get the fuck out of them either. Like, they just keep going.
There's like a dead end.
And then it just stops. And you're like, shit, I just walked this whole fucking thing only to find out there's no exit. Like,
yeah, you have to turn back. It's like a U-turn. Yeah.
And I cried a little bit because I was not really, but I felt like it because I was so tired.
It's just circles. It's literally just circles, and they all look the same.
And they keep happening. So you can't walk through this area. You have to walk around it.
Exactly, because it's really not facilitating people traffic,
and it's not open. Like, it's weird because it's neighborly but not to everybody. So
like the AT&T guy.
I feel like this is starting to get philosophical here, but you know what I mean? Like,
it's like a direct representation of what America is,
basically. And it's developed, and it's appropriate, and it's clean. Basically what it is y'all don't want, and just anybody moving in is basically it. And you don't want to see.
They were sizing you up.
Yeah.
When they kept showing up, they were sizing you up, and they've probably already had discussions about you.
And on purpose, I didn't disclose what I did for a living because they don't need to fucking know.
No.
I'm not knocking down the door asking everybody what they do for a living.
Right? And I don't fucking care what you do, but they care about you because you probably intimidate them.
Well, thank goodness I'm married to a white man. A white passing Mexican.
Yeah. With the thickest accent. He's got like his accent's so thick it's like oatmeal.
Exactly. But he's actually like more brown now because he went out in the sun. So
we I had a friend of mine, she was on the podcast a while back. Her name is Stevia. And she was like, y'all are so magical. You're like a mood ring. Latinos.
Really?
Because, like, in the winter, we're really pale and kind of sad.
Oh, my God, that's
and then I came back from L.A. I went to L.A. for a little mini vacation.
Where we come from, just
Ooh,
kidding.
girl. I come back and I'm, like, golden.
Yes.
I look like a fucking...
You do radiate. You have a glow about
So, she's like, y'all are, like, magical. You're like a mood ring.
This is what the Florida sun does. Look, I don't tan in the Kansas sun quite like I did in Florida.
There's the beach. There's the magic of being by the water.
Oh my God.
It's just like so needed. Like, yes. I'm so glad that I left for my vacation because I really needed escape from this like white culture that is Lawrence.
Landlocked. It's bland.
It's just not me.
It's
really not me.
And it sucks because when you are you stick out. And so I actually do feel more at home in the ghetto, unfortunately, because that's where I grew up and that's what I know. Exactly. And I already know if you don't know them, don't look them in the eye and stay on your side. Mm-hmm. That's it. Don't cross the territory and you won't get shot. It's fine. But if someone does throw a brick at your car and bust your windshield because it just so happens to look like some other gang member's mother's car, you just leave it alone.
It is what it is. You get a new windshield.
Yes.
Yeah. You have insurance, hopefully, so.
Exactly. And if someone's going to do a little power play and put graffiti up on your garage, you paint that shit over until they leave you alone.
Move on with it, right. You just kind of keep going. But, like, with that, the aggression and the, like, kind of like this violent nature that is living in those spaces, at least you see it. At least it's, like, obvious, right? Like, you can see the brick, you can see the graffiti. Here in these other white spaces, it's a lot less obvious.
And that's why I feel like that's a pretty good analogy for what we experience now in the United States. I refuse to say America. I'm sorry. This is the United States of America because there are other Americas, not just this one. So I call it the United States, but the concept of it's not happening to me, why are you angry? I think that's it, though, is they've not lived it.
They don't understand. Yeah, exactly. There's no way they can relate to
you have
the
no
anger.
idea what it feels to move somewhere that does not feel like home to you until you've done it. And so
they came here feeling like this was their home, even though it wasn't. They pushed.
Their ancestors did or whatever. But like, when I just think to myself, what were to happen if you, like, not you personally, but if that person moved into the ghetto? Like, those homes are so affordable. So if you want to go on a million vacations.
They are moving into those neighborhoods and they're pushing the poor people out.
That's right.
Oh, my God.
Making it trendy to do the same shit that we've been doing, which is so weird.
And then they call it colorful.
Been around for fucking ever. It's not, you didn't discover it. And fucking avocado toast. Listen, when you've been poor and have nothing but avocados and bread, or just fucking bread, that's what you eat for breakfast. So don't give me this shit about $7 of worth of avocado toast.
It was $17 when I went to this fancy.
Fuck? That is
in
like,
Los Angeles.
That's the ghetto breakfast is what that is.
That is.
Go ahead and, gold covered shit is still shit. So
yeah, it was just eggs and some avocado on some fucking bread. And I'm like, you paying what?
Excuse me?
$17, girl?
Yeah.
My mama can make you some chilaquiles for half that, and they're going to be 3 times better.
That was my problem with Port Fonda, the restaurant. You walk in, you're eating home-style food, upscale.
It's a fusion bullshit. Honestly,
and it's like 4 times the price as it should be. So the people that make, like, tacos the same exact way up the road at La Estrella, which is better
and authentic
and less than half the price.
Yeah, you have actual brown people making that food.
I mean, the kitchen was still brown, but at Port Fonda. However, how do you think that made them feel, though, to know I'm making the same shit I do at home, but this shit's costing like $30?
I don't know. Like that
would be so weird.
I just like, it honestly, okay, so the food should be able to be valued at that, but the way that they do it is super appropriative.
It is. It's kind of condescending. It's like saying, that's your food, but I'm going to do it better.
Because I'm white.
And I'm going to make it valuable by putting a better price tag on it.
By making it more
and
hipstery,
using more
too.
fine ingredients. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it's annoying.
I've had really terrible experiences in that restaurant as a Mexican woman. Like, I've been treated terribly in that space, and I was just like,
they're closing.
Qué bueno.
Exactly. Go back to where you came from in Kansas City.
Well, and the one in Kansas City is completely different.
Yeah, but
it's completely different. I've been to both because I used to live in the neighborhood there.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and it was different, but
they gentrified it. And I see what people are talking about now, because when I first moved here, that's the only impression I got of Mass Street was just overpriced food. And you just go there for the ambiance or whatever.
You know, East Lawrence used to be called La Yarda. And that was it was mostly Mexican families that lived there who worked on the railroad. And they got pushed out by the poor white people that wanted to live in those neighborhoods. So East Lawrence is now is already a gentrified space. But now the poor white people who live there are also getting pushed out by rich white people. So it's this new wave of gentrification.
Yeah, like I'm going to buy your house at less than market value, and then I'm going to make it valuable. Mm-hmm. They're doing the same shit.
No, and the worst thing about it for me, like personally, is that they are using the arts. As like the driving force to bring in these gentrifiers.
But their arts, not all arts,
not the arts. Right? They're definitely. There's always been classism in arts.
Which is so fucking weird.
It's not weird when you look at who writes the fucking books about art.
I think it's weird because I came at it with I think because when I studied music, that's what really pissed me off a little bit, was like, don't tell me that's not music. Fucking bullshit. You're just not calling it music.
When you hear rap, you don't hear music because you're not listening.
You don't understand it. You don't get it because you haven't lived it.
No, and because you don't value the people who are making it.
Yeah, and those stories are real. Mm-hmm. And that's what really hurt me down to my core was someone telling me that wasn't music. I'm like, you don't understand the rhythmic, the
complexity.
Yes. Oof. Like there's layers of like it is aggressive, but that's because that's what's around us all the time.
And
there's
that's
sirens,
the expression.
There's knocking on shit, there's gunshots, there's domestic violence. You feel that in rap music. Obviously not all of it. I'm not talking about all of it, but
no, but the early beginnings when we're looking at rap music as a genre that is a musical genre, when you look at it where it comes from, these roots of blues and spoken word and also reacting to the things that are happening in your neighborhood.
And it's all rhythmic. Excuse me, but that's still music. And I had to defend that so many times. And
it's
I'm like,
stupid. And
it pissed me off because I'm like, you're on the fucking drum line. Yeah. And you're telling me that you don't understand that this is still musical? You can literally write this shit on a piece of paper. That's why it's music, is because it's using what's already existing to express yourself. You just don't fucking get it because you've not lived it. And so,
and also because you've been trained to
see it as
value certain things above others. So when you hear Michael Bolton, oh my God, that is the best music I've ever heard. But then when you listen to Kendrick Lamar, Tupac, you don't hear it because all you hear is this aggression and you fear it because you don't understand it.
Exactly. And they're like, it's just noise. I'm like, no, it's not. It's my noise. You just don't get it because you're not taking the time to do that. But
and you can't relate to it. And honestly, I have no problem with it. The shitty, because it's not for you then.
But then I have to sit there and analyze The Rite of Spring, which is literally raping a girl till she dies or she's dancing to the death or whatever. The fuck is that? And I'm like,
the patriarchy. It's the white patriarchy institutional.